Daily Spell, everyone. I am your host for the evening. I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is my friend Sir Brian Ellicott, and we are here for Tarot Thursday. So we will be talking about tarot, and we will be doing many tarot readings for you. You can view us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. If you will post your questions in the chat, we will do a short reading for you. So go ahead and post your questions. And while we're waiting for questions, I want to remind you, please support Pagan World TV with our Kickstarter. You can do so at witchstarter.com. It is scrolling across the bottom of our screen, and we have some great perks for you. How are you doing this evening, Brian? Thank you
Great.
so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Love hanging out with you on Thursdays.
Hey, Arlene. How are you? Good to hear from you. And it's always a pleasure to have you to come and hang with me. Got your wrist all limbered up. Goodness, I can't talk tonight.
Of course. It's like practicing the Vogue, only, different.
Yes, I know Sir Eric is still in the hospital. Hopefully he'll get to go home tomorrow. Sending him our best wishes. And welcome to everyone else who's watching us. Feel free to say hello in the comments or post us a question. So, what's the weather like in New York City tonight?
Tonight is actually surprisingly warm. Well, warmer. It got like 60 today. So,
Well, we got up in the 70s today. Hey, cared where? You're not late. I am having a great evening. Hope you are. Hey, Kim. Good to see you, my friend.
how's the
Cared
weather
where?
down
I
there?
hope that precious black kitten of yours is doing well.
How's the weather by you, Mary?
Getting warm again. We play this thing in the spring in Tennessee where it gets warm for a few days and then it gets cold for a few days.
Yes, in New York City, we do that towards the middle of spring, where you can go through all four seasons in one day.
Ah, yes. So we're doing that here. Started out cold this morning, warmed up, it'll cool off again tonight, and then it'll warm up again tomorrow. So thank you for everyone who's joining us. Hi, Diane. Hi, Eric. And Cared Where, I'm glad to hear your cat is quite magical. They frequently are. That's why they choose magical people. Fun fact, all my cats were volunteers, except for one. Only once did I decide I was going to get a cat and got one. The rest of the time, they showed up. Just,
In New York,
hi, I'm here.
we adopted Elvis, but clearly she picked us because the sign said that if someone didn't take her home, other things were going to happen.
Oh, no. So does anyone have a question for us tonight?
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
About as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Will we have corny riddles and rhymes until someone asks us a question?
Great. Glad to see you. Ah, so I'll tell you my favorite tongue twister story. When my daughter was still in daycare before she went to kindergarten, she got into tongue twisters, and we did Rubber Baby Buggy Bumper, and She Sells Seashells by the Seashore. And then, without thinking about it, I taught her Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Uh-oh.
And she went to daycare the next day with that one. And the owner pulled me aside and explained that due to some unfortunate mispronunciations,
Oops.
that one had been barred.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, I wasn't thinking. Thank you, Caredware. Well, Eric, yeah, I guess we can pull a couple of cards for you.
Hostess with the mostest first.
I'm glad to hear that, Kathy. Let's see. So the first card I get is the soul. When the soul comes up in the reading, it's telling us that the issue does not lie in the physical. Hi, Leslie. The issue at hand, even if it's manifesting in the physical, the problem is in the spiritual realm. So you need to be seeking spiritual guidance. Since you are a spiritual person, you need to be consulting with your guides, with your deities about what is it you are learning here. Our next card is death, which of course does not mean a physical death, but it does mean a radical change in circumstances is coming. And finally, we have the Princess of Cups. And with this, we are looking at earth affecting the suit of water. And so there is something old that needs to be released before you can move forward.
So I
And
have.
hi, Sir Mike.
So for Eric, I also have the Three of Pentacles, which is trusting the team, trusting the team around you, your doctors, your providers, knowing that they have what's best in your best interests, even if you don't feel that they are working in your best favor. Strength. I'm not seeing this as physical strength. I'm seeing this as mental strength and just seeing it through, and listening to what's being asked of you. And then Ace of Pentacles, taking this time to manifest um, something outside of what you do for yourself usually, something that is for yourself and not for others right now. That's what I got.
And hello, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. And Diane has asked if we could pull cards for her.
Is there a
So,
question or are we just pulling cards?
yeah.
Okay.
So, regarding your situation, Diane, my first card is the Eight of Wands, which means a sudden shift in circumstances. Things are moving very, very rapidly, and possibly due to the agency of others, people may not be who you thought they were. Next, we have the Three of Pentacles. The three is a fortunate card. Pentacles are around our finances, around the material world. So things are moving well for you in the material world. And finally, the Nine of Pentacles. So taken together, I'm going to say something is shifting rapidly. Be prepared for sudden changes in the near term. But watch your opportunities. You definitely have opportunities to manifest positive things in the material plane.
All good, Mary?
Yeah, your turn.
So I got
And you are
the
welcome, Mary.
Knight of Wands. So the starting of a fire as in taking action. Nine of Pentacles. So I see you taking action and being more self-sufficient on your own. Um, and the King of Swords, which is around also knowledge. So you're taking action in a direction of knowledge for yourself to better sustain yourself in your current situation.
All right, Sarah. No, thank you for the compliment on my hat. My charms were 3D printed by some friends of mine for my Yule present. And Leslie Carter has asked for cards. And as usual, my tiny hands are not wanting to shuffle. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
I can go first if you like.
Okay, I'm getting here.
Would you like me to?
I got it.
Okay.
All right, Leslie, our first card is the Princess of Cups. And this is about earth affecting water. So you have some old blockages you've got to deal with in this situation. So you need to look at yourself, or if this is involving someone else, look at them and convince them to let go of the past. Next, we have the universe. So the situation will have a very positive outcome as long as you can release the blockages and move forward. And finally, we have the mages. So what this means is you have the tools and the abilities within you to deal with the situation. So I'm going to say, given this, the blockages are your own, and you need to identify them, let go of the past that's holding you back, and move forward with confidence.
So I got the Four of Cups, which is about reevaluation. Um, the Page of Cups, which is also about really expression within your home, within your emotions, within your spiritual being. And then the Eight of Swords, which is about restriction. So you're, reevaluating in within your home and within your emotions, or within friendships, or deep emotional connections where you feel restricted or unable to really express yourself or your true feelings to someone in your life, or someone who's really emotionally involved within your life.
Okay, and next we have Sonia. Hello, first time catching you live. Could I get a card, please? Watching from Scotland, UK. And welcome, Sonia. Glad you are joining us. And of course, you can have a card. Or three. Okay. So the first card I have is the Queen of Lamps. I am using the Infinite Tarot, and in this deck, there is a fifth suit, the suit of lamps, which represents the spiritual realm. So the queen represents water being expressed through the spiritual realm, or your emotions being expressed through the spiritual realm. So in this situation, you are emotionally connected to it, but you need to look for spiritual advice around your emotions. Next, we have the Eight of Cups. There is something here that you're worried about or you're afraid of. And you see the nightmarish images here. The reality is not as bad as your fears are. You can proceed, I would say, cautiously, but you can succeed in the situation. And finally, we have the Four of Swords. Swords are around thought and intelligence. And the number 4 leads us to some kind of work and discipline. So again, I'm going to say, in this situation, proceed cautiously, think things through, proceed with due diligence, but you can be successful.
All right, so I pulled the Fool, which I see for you as starting a new journey, taking a new direction. I also pulled the Four of Swords, which is this new journey also comes with a period of reflection and respite and recharging yourself, and not just going into a new journey after you finished an old one. You need time to reflect and process in order to see where you plan to go next. But the third card that I pulled is the King of Pentacles. So you also want to be secure in that next process or journey before you start it during that period of reflection. You don't want to just jump headfirst into something new before you've really thought it through.
Okay. And Diane says, well said. She gets it. And Leslie says, thank you. Now we're just going to look at Cardware's question. He's writing a book that can be considered controversial within the scientific community related to metaphysics and modern established science. Do we find this time or the near future to be appropriate to be releasing this type of literature? All right.
I can go first, Mary, if you like.
All right. If you're ready, go ahead and go.
I pulled Temperance. So far, first off the bat, like Temperance is about balance. So while it is a great time for it, it has to be balanced strategically um, with its placement right now. The Eight of Pentacles is obviously about materialism and work, which I would find it it will be helpful to some, not others. But you will be victorious, which I will see as with the Six of Wands, as this will be a great time for you to publish this book, but it will be contentious in some ways. But I see that you're prepared for that contention, so I don't see any worry there.
Okay. So my first card is the Six of Cups, which is talking about alliances and perhaps working with someone from your past on this. My second card is Time, which indicates whatever happens right now is going to be short term in duration. And the whole situation can change quickly. And finally, we have the past, which means looking at the past, but releasing it to move on. So I'm going to draw one more card here to clarify this. And now I've got the Two of Swords, which is talking about alliances. And honestly, Caradware, I don't think I'm talking about your question. This deck is telling you about something else entirely. You are working on, unless this is appropriate to the release of your book, in that you need to be working on something in alliance with someone else. And that is really what the success of the venture I'm seeing is going to rest on. And I am not positive if it's your book or something else.
It happens. Sometimes we get our cards get the wires crossed.
Well, no, it's not that our cards get the wires crossed. Sometimes someone asks a question and the cards are like, oh, you got that. This is what we need to talk about it. Now, Sarah Moonchild has asked if we could pull cards for her, and we certainly can. All right, so my first card is the Princess of Pentacles, which is Earth affecting Earth. So you've got a whole lot of stability around this situation. And then I have the Prince of Pentacles, which is air affecting Earth. So that you need to approach the situation being very clear around your communications. And finally, I've got the Eight of Pentacles. And this is about learning new talents, a new trade, applying yourself to learn something new to support yourself. So, you have a good base in the material world. You need to be careful that you are clearly communicating what it is you want to accomplish, and be open to expanding your skill set.
So I pulled the Ten of Pentacles, which is also being secure in your skill set, being secure in what you want in your manifestation of your goals. But also with that, you need to find some happiness and some joy in your skill set. Maybe doing more of your hobbies that bring you joy as part of your skill set. And the Three of Cups, which is celebrating some of those skills that you may find that others find unique or different and utilizing those.
Okay. All right. So, and Arlene has asked for a reading. Leslie and Sonia thank us, as does Caredware. Okay. Well, I have got the Ten of Cups. So this card is talking about manifesting what you want. The catch here is, what do you want? You have the ability to manifest something, but do you know what it is? The next card is magic. And this ties right back into the Ten of Cups. You have the ability to manifest what you want in this life, Arlene. But finally, we have the Five of Swords. So right now there is some chaos going on. And I think it goes back to the Ten of Cups. You can manifest what you want, but you must be clear in your intentions. And be sure that what your conscious mind and what your subconscious mind are manifesting are the same thing.
So I have the Nine of Pentacles, self sufficiency, being able to know that you're sustaining yourself, even if you don't feel like you're doing that, you are. Um, I also pulled death, which obviously is not actual death, but more of rebirth. Um, Going through a period of deciding what you want to do, where you want to go, and in what direction you're going to go with it. And then I have not pulled the last card. The Star, which is, for a hopeful outcome. But you need to spend some time reflecting and really thinking about all of the hands that you have, the flames that you have your hands on. It feels like to me you're doing too much, and maybe you need to pull back a little bit in order to give everything your best effort.
All right. And then Mary Biggs has asked for some cards on her health. Okay. So the first card I've got is the Hanged Man. And, this card is cognate with Odin hanging on the tree to gain knowledge. And so, whatever health issues you are facing, there is a lesson there you've got to learn. And I hate it when people say that to me about my health issues, but there is something to be gained out of the situation, or something to be released from the situation. Next, we have the Ace of Wands. So you are manifesting something in the realm of fire, and fire is the realm of manifestation. So you are in the process of manifesting something. And finally, we have the King of Pentacles, which is fire affecting earth. Fire is powerful, manifesting, earth is stable, the material realm. So, I don't know if I'm talking about your health or not here, Mary, but there is a lesson in your current circumstances you need to learn. And through that, you will have the ability to manifest the life you want to manifest for yourself.
So I pulled the Six of Pentacles, which is about redistribution. But with the Pentacles, we're talking about material stuff. So I see like a redistribution of focus in your health. Making sure you take that time for your appointments outside, if you work. And also I pulled Revolution Revelation, which is this deck's version of the Tower card, but not chaos, but more of an undoing of what you have been doing previously that hasn't worked before, kind of like unlearning all of your bad habits in order to get to that Four of Wands, which is harmony and more distinct balance.
All right. And Kim has asked for us to pull cards for her, even though she's hesitant to be read, because a lot of times the really great readers are hesitant to being read. And let's see what we've got for Kim here. So, I've got the Princess of Swords. So this is earth relating to air. So air is about communication, earth is about stasis. So there's been some difficulty in communication. Then I've got the King of Wands here. The king is about fire and wands are about fire. So this is that fiery energy you need to make things happen. And then we've got the Prince of Wands, which is air and fire. Air can feed fire, but in this case, it also means you need to pour a lot of energy into a situation. So I'm going to say that in your current situation, you've had some issues communicating with someone. You have the ability to make the situation turn out the way you want it to, but it is going to require you to pour some energy into it, probably magical energy.
So the first card I have is Suspension, which is the Hangman. Um, Looking at what you're working on from the top down instead of from the top up in order to see a bigger picture. Um, and then I also pulled the Lovers, which I don't see this as love in the romantic sense, but in the choices you make. Look when you're looking at that bigger picture, seeing whether you should go left or go right or stay straight ahead, um, and really looking at it from a place of joy and love and sunshine, as opposed to like everything is crap and I don't want to. I just want to sit here and look at it. So you have a choice to make in order to continue on that path of happiness right now.
Okay, and Arlene, you are welcome. Mary, you are welcome. We're coming up on 45 minutes here. Does anybody else have any questions for us? We'll remind you, we've got 5 days left on our Kickstarter. You can find us at witchstarter.com. You are so welcome, Kim. We really do need your support at Pagan World TV. We are an independent 501c3 now, and all gifts are greatly appreciated. And I'm going to ask one more time, does anybody else have any more questions for us?
Do you want to pull some for me for the week, Mary?
Sure.
Just see if we get any last minute people.
Alrighty. Cards for Bruce. All right, so I've got the Two of Lamps. So this is about your spiritual path. and working with someone on it. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So this is about being in a very secure place in the material realm. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So be open to learning some new skills in the material realm.
Thank you so much.
All right. And Kathy is asking us about an event for tomorrow she's got. Okay, so I've got the Eight of Lamps. Lamps is around spirituality. And the number 8 is about leadership. So there's going to be a need for some leadership tomorrow. We have the Three of Pentacles. This is going to put you in also in a fortunate place in the material realm. And finally, the Seven of Wands, with the seven speaking about making your plans carefully. So I'm going to say that you're going to be bringing some careful planning to fruition tomorrow. Things should go well for you, and you're going to wind up being in a position of leadership through this.
I have the Page of Pentacles, which is the home of ideas. So you will have to be thinking on your feet tomorrow in terms of last minute things that might come up. The Page of Cups, keeping your emotions in check if you have to change, if you have to pivot direction last minute, making sure that you do so with a level head. And the Six of Wands, which is about victory. So as long as you go into this with an open mind and your emotions calm, cool, and collected, in case you need to pivot, all will be victorious.
All right. And would you pull some cards for me for the upcoming week, please?
Sure thing. My cards don't go flying all over the place like they have this evening. The Three of Wands. So a lot of foresight and forward thinking into the future. The Seven of Cups, which is about choices and options. So you're thinking about, all of the things to come with your various projects and all of the decisions you'll have to make for what is best in your direction. And then Ace of Swords. So taking action after you've made those decisions, not overthinking it. Once you've made a decision, stick to your guns and do it. Do the thing.
Do it.
Pretty much.
Just do it.
Just do it.
All righty. Good advice. Does anyone else have a question for us? Does not look like it. So I will say a brief blessing. Divine Mother God, Divine Father, Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for the wisdom you've shared with us this evening. We ask for wisdom as we put this in action. We ask your blessings on us as we go forth on our individual paths. Know that we love you and are always grateful. So mote it be.
So might it be.
All right, and this has been Reverend Mary Hawk and my special guest, Sir Brian Ellicott, for the Daily Spell on Pagan World TV. Please join me every Thursday night, same pagan time, same pagan channel, for Tarot Thursdays.